Thank you so much for joining us on another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. I hope you're having a lovely morning. I am doing that myself here on a beautiful Monday. I know a lot of people coming from a weekend, you always have these difficulties of trying to wake up, get yourself ready for the day. But hey, it's time to wake up and have that energetic morning. Very, very important. I am your host, Miriam Kaimba, and of course in studio I am not alone. I am joined by my beautiful colleague Zipporah Mshara, who has been away from the screen for quite some time. I think 2 weeks. Yeah. Good morning, Zipporah.
Good morning, Miriam, and good morning to our beautiful colleagues out there, beautiful viewers.
Yeah, exactly. You have been away from the screen, I think, for 2 weeks. I was with Katamanda on set for almost 2 weeks.
I almost said congregants because of that check. I was like, good morning, congregants, because I've been at church. But
really?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. In Lusaka, in Zambia, I'm glad to be back.
Just tell us, where were you? A lot of viewers would want to know, like, where was Zipporah for 2 weeks they didn't see you?
Yeah, I was actually in Kenya for, some church activities. But here, I'm now back to do now the job of a journalist.
Interesting, interesting. I hope you were blessed.
Very blessed. And when you talk about development, Miriam, you find that that country is really developed. I was surprised the big buildings that we have here that we boast of, there you're going to find them in the slums.
Wow.
I was like, this place is really developed, For them, they're slums. Most of them, they're more like flats.
Wow.
It's like, okay, we have a lot to learn when it comes to development. But I have trust with the commitment that has been expressed so far that we're going to reach towards that goal.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving forward, in studio at 07:30 hours, we will be joined by Chilenje Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Mwenya, where we're going to be looking at analyzing the prudent utilization of the Constituency Development Fund as we come to the end of the year. Yeah, because so much has been spoken about,
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of CDF was released, but then how has it been used? And Miriam, when you talk about CDF, I think even those people who've been withholding, they should also be held accountable.
Exactly.
Because they're sabotaging development.
Exactly.
Not only those who've misused, but also those who've held it back when it was available. Why have you held it back? Why was there not a proper plan in place to use this?
Those are the questions that anyway we would need to get answers for. But anyway, exactly, again at 07:30, we will be opening our phone line so that you, our viewers out there, can participate in our conversation this morning. And those watching us live on Facebook, you can drop us messages. Your messages will be able to read them through. But right about now, we go direct into our morning boost, Zipporah.
The fitness puppy?
I don't know if it's the fitness puppy, but there's the other guy. But anyway, I think
But I'm ready to do the morning boosts. My 2023 resolution is to lose weight. My 2023 resolution, I want to be looking like, hey.
Okay. Basically, you just need to keep fit, Zipporah. Yeah, you just need to exercise every day in the morning when you wake up. Try to do 1 or 2 things as you get yourself running for the day. It's very, very quite important. Sometimes you wake up feeling your whole body is very tired, Sometimes you don't want to get out of bed, but it's very, very good that you need to exercise and just keep yourself fit. But anyway, right about now, we'll go direct into our morning boost. Catch us on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, again here with Cholwe, and we are gonna start with a stretch. Ten for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we're gonna start with squat jumps for a minute. To squat, so squatting, knees don't move to the front, but 1 minute of those, the modified version. If you can't jump, let's go. We're starting. Up. 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 That's like the modified version. Up. Up. Advanced. Up, modified version, but out. You don't want to the front. Remember that. Up, up, up. Just like that. Up, up. Advanced. You breathe. Good. You should feel the bend. It's a very good bend. The next one for 1 minute, we're just gonna kick to the front. You kick. We're going for 1 minute. Kick, kick. You could go 10 seconds of this. All right. Thank you so much. To the next episode.
Quite a good exercise there. I hope you joined us, our viewers, in doing the exercise just to keep fit on this Monday morning. You know, like Miriam said, if you're feeling tired, sleepy, and all that, that is able to get you right into the place where you need to be. Did you enjoy your morning boost?
I did, Zipporah. I did. I was just trying to do one or two things with my heels so that I make sure I don't fall. I had no option, Zipporah. I was on set. Come on. But early in the morning, like I always say, I always try by all means to do one or two exercises before I get myself ready for the day.
Because sometimes you can wonder just from waking up, but yeah, so exhausted.
Exactly.
Like, why are you exhausted just from sleeping?
Especially when it's towards September, October, you know, you wake up, your body is all tired.
But just from waking up early in the morning, you're like, you're yawning and all that.
Yeah.
You know, so a good exercise definitely keeps you fit. Just now, let's just take a look at what the doctors have for us, because apart from an exercise, we also need good health tips to start our productive week. Let's have the health corner.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Marie Mukandila. I'm here to talk to you about oral health awareness, as we are all aware that this whole week, starting on 20th of March, is our World Oral Health Day. So I'm here to talk to you about our oral health awareness, so our community and those who are viewers can be able to understand how important it is to have a good oral hygiene. Our topic for today we're going to cover is oral health hygiene, which I believe not so many people are aware of how to take good care of oral hygiene, or when to visit a dentist, or when to come to the hospital just for checkup. So today I'm going to explain to you guys out there to know that oral health hygiene is actually very important. And it's very important to have a dental checkup at least twice in a year. That means that after 6 months, you need to have your oral hygiene checked by a dentist or a therapist at any nearest clinic or hospital. So when we talk about oral hygiene, it's involved a lot of things. It's not just about how your hygiene should look, no. It's also involved how you're supposed to take care of it, how you're supposed to brush, how many times are you supposed to brush your teeth, for instance. For instance, we all know that we're supposed to brush our teeth at least 3 times in a day. But because of our busy schedules and our work, we end up just doing it even twice. And when we do it twice, at least it's important that one's supposed to remember before you go to bed, you need to have your teeth brushed. When it comes to our oral hygiene, food also plays a very important part in it as well. For instance, the food that we take in, most food that we eat has got sugar in it. And when we talk of sugar, sugar and our teeth, they're not friends, because once you eat sugary stuff, you'll find yourself that you will sleep, those sugary stuff are going to be on top of your teeth surfaces. You end up finding yourself that you have poor hygiene, meaning that if you don't brush, you might end up having bad oral breath. At times you might end up having even cavities, which are diseases that we usually face, especially in clinics. You find that someone will come and their teeth have turned colors. It's either yellowish or sometimes it can be reddish. And you find that someone has never even brushed their teeth for like maybe 2 weeks. It's very normal. It might sound strange, but there are people out there who are not aware that it's also important, as we bath, it's also important to also brush our teeth. For example, if we go to our communities out there, you find that 50% or even 60% of our communities, whether our children, whether adult, old age, you find that most of them, they do not even have a toothbrush, which really brings a big concern to us, because if we are there to bring awareness to our community, we expect our community to have a little knowledge about oral hygiene. When we talk about an oral hygiene, what is necessary for one to have is you're supposed to have your toothbrush with you, you are supposed to have your toothpaste with you, you are supposed to have at least even a mouthwash. But if you do not have these stuff like mouthwash, at least you can have a toothbrush. in rural areas, mostly you find that our elderly or old age people, they don't have toothbrushes. They use the old toothbrushes, which in the vernacular language is called, it's like a brush, but it's like a stick, kind of like, where they have to use it to brush their teeth. But you find that when we are doing this kind of oral health awareness, we want to bring to our people to be aware that it's important for them to have things like a toothbrush, a toothpaste, or even mouthwash. To have a proper hygiene, you're supposed to brush your teeth at least even twice or even 3 times if you can manage.
I hope you learned 1 or 2 things there from the doctor who was emphasizing on oral hygiene. You know, it's very, very important that you brush your teeth, keep yourself healthy, in good shape. It's very, very important. You know, a lot of people do not take these things seriously. And then later on, they start complaining, no, I'm having a toothache and stuff like that. You know, these are the small issues that we keep on ignoring, but later on have, you know, different side effects on our body. Yeah,
definitely. And talk about oral health, Miriam. We've heard about people who've got really bad breath, and we've also heard all these, you know, solutions like no, put charcoal and all that. But
put charcoal, put this, put that. You're given different
sometimes
remedies.
it's all because of rotten teeth,
Yeah,
like bad oral hygiene. So
exactly.
the tips from the doctor are really helpful as long as we put them to practice, because just hearing is not going to help us in any way. So if we put them to practice, we're going to have excellent oral hygiene. Just now, before we move on, let's just take a look at our money market to know how our kwacha is faring against major international convertibles. We have the Great British Pound buying at 21 kwacha 12 ngwe, selling at 21 kwacha 53 ngwe. The United States dollar buying at 17 kwacha 20 ngwe, selling at 17 kwacha 54 ngwe. The euro buying at 18 kwacha 15 ngwe, selling at 18 kwacha 51 ngwe. The South African rand buying at 1 kwacha 0 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 02 ngwe. So Miriam, our US dollar on the selling part is almost at 18 kwacha.
Yep. Last time,
and this is December, where it was supposed to reach 10 kwacha.
Where it was supposed to reach 10 kwacha. And you know, my fear is coming January, I think it will trade in, it will be selling, on the selling part, it will be at 18 kwacha. It will graduate to be an adult. To be an adult. To be an adult.
18 years.
Yeah,
but anyway,
18 years.
Let's hope for the best so that by maybe the end of 2023, it would have stabilized, because we've been hearing, you know, this sentiment saying, no, the current administration is trying to stabilize things. So we hope that 2 years will be enough for them to stabilize things. We hope to see the kwacha faring at favorable rates.
Favorable rates, indeed. Our very fear, you know, when it comes to this is the high price of commodities, which is affecting the common person, you and I, you know, and other people around. We don't want to see that.
Things are quite expensive, you know.
Yeah, yeah, we don't want to see that come, you know, looking at the current economic situation that we're in right now, and then we have, you know, a high price of commodities. This is going to greatly affect us, and this is what we don't want to see later on. Anyway, moving forward, we have now officially opened our phone lines, and just to look at one of the stories that made headlines yesterday, Zipporah, we saw in Gwerere area, that is Chongwe side, we saw 28 bodies, and out of 28, one survived and was rushed to the University Teaching Hospital, where he's currently receiving medical treatment. But these 28 bodies were just dumped on the road, and these people are believed to be Ethiopians. We are not yet sure about their identities, because police investigations are still currently underway. But the concerns or the questions that people still have is, how did they, you know, find themselves there? Who dumped them? you know.
Who
And
killed
that,
them, yeah.
it's not really killed, because if you look at in the manner at which they are found, it's like they suffocated. So they look like they're immigrants, you know, coming from Ethiopia.
Oh, maybe they were in a truck or something.
Yes, they were in a truck coming from Ethiopia, and then, you know, they suffocated. So this has raised a lot of questions on members of the public who are thinking or you know, asking themselves what exactly is happening. You know, what is exactly
But the
happening?
police yet, you know, Miriam, we've seen many stories. Then
Because-
it's just a thought, but we've seen many stories where people are inside trucks that being, you know, transported along with cargo.
Yes.
Could it be one of those situations?
And we suspect it was in such situation where they were coming from Ethiopia, they had put them in trunk, you know, put them all together. So because they were not getting enough air, they suffocated. And then later on, maybe the driver thought, if, you know, what am I going to say? You know, I can be put in bad shape or spirit, so let me just dump them here. But anyway, we hope that police investigation will speed up and they'll be able to find a solution. But anyway, let's get to play direct that story that we did yesterday, and we'll get talking as we have our guests coming. It was a shock and horrific scenario for the residents of Lusaka's Ngwelere area, waking up to discover 27 bodies believed to be Ethiopians just in the middle of the road, has left them traumatized. Sunday morning, 11th of December 2022, when everyone was getting ready for church and other day-to-day activities in this neighborhood, little did they know what they were about to witness. It was initially reported that 28 bodies believed to be Ethiopians were discovered. However, out of the 28, one man was found gasping for life. The residents who were at the scene disclosed that they quickly rushed him to the hospital where he is currently getting treatment. After being served with this traumatized scene, the residents quickly alerted police officers who quickly rushed at the scene. The residents suspect it might be human trafficking.
It's fear. We are afraid. We don't know what will happen next. You know, if we have such things happening, people coming and dumping people like this, then what of us that are moving along the road one by one? So the big area is a bush, so it's really affecting us. We have our school children passing this road every day, so it's really disturbing.
The police, the Maplanga police people here, the Ngwerere police here. One of the police, I found him already on the scene. That's how he asked me if I could help with the one who was alive. The only person who was alive, who looked like he was alive, but he was unconscious. Yeah, and that's how I took him to Ngwerere clinic, and there the medical staff attended to him.
Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale has revealed that police preliminary investigations indicated that a total number of 28 persons, all males aged between 20 and 38, were dumped by unknown persons.
In Ngwerere area near Chaminuka, members of the public discovered dead bodies around 06 hours, and quickly they alerted the police, who rushed to the scene. And our preliminary investigations indicate that 27 bodies were found, while one was found gasping for life, bringing the number to 28. The one who was found with some life in him has been rushed to the university teaching hospitals, where he is currently receiving treatment. So all the 27 bodies are males aged between 20 and 38.
Several questions still remains in the mind of the public of what might have happened exactly. But for now, we wait for the police final report as they conclude with their investigations. Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News. Quite a sad story there that we saw, where 28 bodies were just dumped in Ngwerere area. Very, very quite sad. Anyway, we hope that the police will speed up investigations and see exactly what transpired, who dumped them, who dumped those bodies there. And we hope that we'll be able to get more information from one person who survived. Is currently getting treatment at the University Teaching Hospital. We hope that the police will speed up with investigations and indeed come to a conclusion, and a final report can be given to members of the public as we raise concern. But right about now, we transition into our next segment, and in studio we are joined by Chilenje Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Mwenya, where we are analyzing the prudent utilization of the Constituency Development Fund as we come to the end of the year, how it was used. Good morning and welcome to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show.
Good morning and thank you so much.
You're welcome to the studio for,
you
know, the 100th time. You're not a new guest here. This is your place.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much.
Maybe just a reminder that of yours that our phone lines are now open. You can call in on the numbers that are scrolling on the screen, or leave us messages on Facebook as you contribute to today's topic: how was Constituency Development Fund used in 2022, among other issues. Now, maybe just to begin with, Mr. Mwenya, talking about your ward, with the 25.7 million kwacha CDF increment Constituency Development Fund, with the year having come to an end, are you satisfied that the CDF has worked for its intended purpose? Of course, we've got this picture of grassroots development. Do you feel this has been achieved? Or if not, what have been some of the challenges?
Thank you so much, Zipporah. Like you've rightly put it, we're coming to an end, and truthfully speaking, there hasn't been so much satisfying results in regards to how CDF fund has been allocated or utilized. You realize that we could be talking of maybe 40% of it having been used through bursaries and skills. But in terms of projects, of course, the few districts or constituencies were within the country where they've done a bit of it in terms of projects, but I think the majority of constituencies, they haven't attained the desired results according to how they should have, or how they could have planned to utilize the CDF for this year.
Is it due to a lack of planning, or what could be the cause?
Not really lacking plans, because you see, plans were already done or were already made. You know, the planning of CDF was made in such a way that the planning is done in advance. You just wait for the allocation of monies, because monies, you must realize that they were coming in quotas, but the plans were already done, so you just be waiting for the allocation of the money so that you start implementing. But for me, I'm just seeing two major reasons as to why this hasn't been attained, and we must be very careful as government, because it might dent our reputation as a new dawn government. So for me, my observations are that one, there's lack of patriotism towards the service delivery from our civil servants. I think throughout the country, or in most ministries, both the local ministry of local government, even these other ministries. We talk of Ministry of Health. We talk of, there's so much reluctance from members of staff. They don't have that zeal. It's like they have nothing to lose, whether it works out, it doesn't work out, provided they just get their salary. For them, it's okay. And this is why you go to people's offices. Instead of them responding to a constituency that, okay, you can proceed or you can do what, you find that people are just on Facebook, on WhatsApp, do a performance audit. What have you done in the past 2 months? You can't establish anything. So that is the attitude, the bad attitude that we have from our civil service, and which must be addressed urgently, not only under New Dawn government, even previously, even under PF. things were happening. You hear a funding of a constituency in 5 years or in 10 years, only one allocation was done. So allocations were being done, but implementation find that the working attitude is very bad. In 5 years, only one project, and even that project you discover that it didn't even finish. So I'm talking of the attitude of our members of staff, of our civil servants, number one. Number two, the Public Procurement Act is a disaster. Because, you see, this Public Procurement Act, you can't do anything without following it. Because whenever you plan, you do your plans, monies are there in the bank, you need to procure a contract. Now, how you procure a contract is what matters. You find that the process is very cumbersome, so much bureaucracy. So, I thank God because now, the President, through Minister of Local Government, noted that there is a serious problem, and as at last week, we are submitting some amendments or some, what can I say, we are submitting some changes that needs to be done so that they can amend some of these procedures or processes that are really a hindrance to this country, because you can't put certain regulations that disadvantage yourselves. Because this is what has happened. We're trying to make sure that we follow law and order, but at the end of the day, these same processes are fighting us because someone won't act on it because they need to follow what was written. And you see, some of these writings or some of these acts were done way back before we could even think of what is happening now, and we are still following those things. And this is why it is very difficult.
Have you seen that commitment to reform some of these, cumbersome regulations?
Yes, if we've started submitting new submissions to try and see that we can amend it, it is a plus. It is something that even
commendable.
Exactly, even the head of state himself said it openly. Said, "No, I've noted, and we need to deal with some of these things." And he made a statement to say, "We are going to take certain decisions, certain desperate decisions, maybe bypassing certain procedures that are not even necessary to be able to do it, to achieve." You get my point?
Now, looking at some of these challenges that you have dotted out or noted with serious concern, if we fail basically maybe to reform, amend the guidelines for CDF, do you think we'll be able to achieve our intended purpose of becoming a developmental country by 2030, they say?
No, that one is not possible. If we can't make changes to our current acts that bind certain decisions, we can't move. You must understand that most decisions are within certain acts. And until those are amended, even the president cannot just say, "No, go and do this." They'll say he's abusing his power. He's acting outside his authority. He's abusing his own constitution that he sought to protect and defend. So even him at some point, he's bound by what other people decided that this country, of course, then it was a good initiative, but then, time changes. And we must change also according to the times that we live in. But that we haven't done. Why? Because there's been so much politics in the way these constitutions are being done. Even someone with a very good submission, you won't trust it. You say maybe you want to use it for political mileage. And this is what has brought us here. You see?
Are we seeing a situation where, even right about now, when you try to make these submissions to ensure there's this amendment, some of the submissions may be thought to be of political ground or move? Are we going to see any change if people who have that mindset of saying any submission maybe might be on a political point of view?
You see, Miriam, what I can tell you is that we live in a political world. And right now, UPND has noted that there are some lacunas within the constitution that are making this country not to develop. Now we must understand that there are two things. If UPND is going to say, let's change ABCD for a betterment of this country, the other side, because what they want to see is that UPND fails. You get my point? For them, if you are going to do ABCD which will better this country, they will feel bad. Because they want you to fail so that people can look down on you and eject you. So it's very possible that a political fight can start from there, where you say, no, we won't support this because you want to use it for a political gain or for a political mileage. But I'm hoping that they can be very patriotic and look at these submissions very objectively. Because whether is an MP for opposition or for the ruling party, at the end of the day, they serve the Zambian people. They come from constituencies where Zambians need development. So by them politicizing everything, they will be denying innocent citizens of their development. And that is the bad thing of it, if it went that side. But I'm praying and hoping that that it shouldn't be like that. But they must be supportive and be objective in the way they're going to deal with this issue of CDF guidelines.
Are you saying that your friends from
the
opposition are trying to maybe sabotage or, you know, politicize these whole things of trying to reform? Because we have seen for quite some time, even them, they have complained about, you know, the CDF guidelines not being okay, you know, having challenges themselves.
Seriously speaking, I haven't heard from their side trying to oppose this good cause. Of course, I think one of MPs from PF last time suggested that that is done. So I don't see them opposing it. But in an event that that happens, that would be very unfortunate. But also we must leave room for anything. It is possible, it is politics. You get my point, huh? Because they say that you know, when people lose their relative, coffins, it's business. You know, they'll be happy. But you are mourning, others are celebrating. So even now, there are people who are celebrating over these challenges that we have encountered. You see, so it is of a very good cause that HH has even increased. But then along the way, we discovered these things. And we must be very supportive to make sure that our country at large develops. That's, I think that's my take.
When you talk about participation, are you satisfied with the participation maybe from the community that you have received in 2022? Have people embraced the CDF, or were they waiting to see from their friends to see the result? Are you satisfied with the participation from the community?
You see, the community has always been ready, waiting for CDF to be rolled out. So there is no way the community will participate in a CDF if the guidelines or if the money cannot be implemented. So it's about money getting on the ground. Then people will participate. Because as it is, what are they going to participate? They have nothing to participate on. They're just waiting. So that when money is released, then they can participate. The best way of them participating is, we've heard that the president said, no, can people form cooperatives? Can people come up with companies so that contracts are given to locals? And that is the only participation that we're going to talk about. So that participation cannot come if decisions are only made at the ministry. You cannot have the whole country depend on feedback from ministry. They must allow these councils to make independent decisions. We have always talked of decentralization. Let's not discuss decentralization as just a mere discussion.
Just hold your coach there. We have a call. Hello, good morning. You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
This is Rick.
From where? Where are you calling us from, sir?
It's Mukushi.
Mukushi, it's good to know that Mukushi is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution this morning.
Yeah, I just want to help us.
The line is breaking, we can't hear you.
Okay, go again.
Yeah, can we cut and go again? We can't hear anything. We'll be waiting for kindly. Hello, are you able to hear us? Seem to have lost that caller. Just make sure you're in a place with a good network connection when you call. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that another thing that is really disturbing is that we can't, the whole country, we can't always wait on decisions to be made here in Lusaka. You get my point? At the ministry level. And this is why we need these councils to make independent decisions. At the end of the day, we have the Auditor General's office, which must come and audit these councils. How did you make these decisions? How did you spend this money? Unlike every time you query certain questions, no, we are still waiting for ministry to get back to us. We are still waiting for ministry. No, it mustn't be like that. We need to help the president deliver by also making sure that the decentralization is actualized. That's the only key. The problems of Lusaka district are different with the problem of Ndola, whatever it is. So we can't all of us be waiting for ministry here to approve certain submissions. As Lusaka City Council, we must be held accountable for what is given to us as Lusaka. And we must be given the authority and the full powers to be able to do it, to manage that. That's CDF. I must, within a week, within a month, we must be able to do all these things. But if we are going to wait for ministry to approve, maybe it will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Remember, we are not the only constituents. Kabak, the other constituencies also that have submitted. So there's so much workload at the ministry. And you can't tell me that they will be always equal to the task. No.
Do you think maybe the reason why the ministry has not done that in ensuring that the district... Okay,
we have another caller.
Hello, good morning.
I just want to find out that those money for the CCF,
Okay.
There are people who are complaining that there's no money in account.
Okay, thank you.
So I just want to find out because of the statement about the CCF, this is the benefit of that. I don't know if you are getting my point.
We get your point, sir.
Yeah. So we're supposed to find out because you can bring the opposition party that there's no money. You know how people make it nothing. I just want to pay the government is not working. So better take it right now, put the money enough in your account.
Thank you so much. Maybe you can respond to our caller before.
This is very worrying. You see what people are saying? People think the whole lot of the president is lying to the people that there is no CDF. You get my point? CDF is there. Me, I sit in the finance committee. I sit also in CDF. Just this year, we've generated an interest of about 9 million from the CDF allocation. So at the end of the day, if we're not very careful, we are just making these banks more richer because they're lending these monies to people and getting more money out of our CDF, while our communities keep suffering. So the issue here is that CDF is everywhere in banks. And this is why we must be very careful also. It could be political, but for me, it is just a procedure. Because at the end of the day, every council cannot make independent decisions over this CDF according to the guidelines. They must write to the ministry. If money has come today, people have identified projects or want to work on these roads, they must submit those roads to the CDF committee. So it starts from the community through WDCs. They identify projects that need to be done. They are sent to where? To that particular council, where now a CDF committee will start looking at those submissions. When the CDF committees looks at those submissions, they will now forward them to the ministry. Wherever that council is, they will have to forward them to the ministry. And ministry will have to look at them and get back to them. So now when ministry responds to them, okay, we've approved that these projects must be done. Now from there, it will have to go to where? To procurement. Procurement also has to start looking at tendering all those, all those days, which are almost a month, where you have to tender So money is there, but also it takes the passion for the officers to make sure that this thing is done. But with all those guidelines put in place, it will always look like this money is not there. And I'll still repeat that it's only the banks now that are benefiting more than the citizens themselves. You see that? So the working culture of our people must change. And this is why it is very suspicious. You find that certain places like PF stronghold constituencies, development is there. Why? It's because those MPs, they've got a very good relationship with these people who are still in these offices. So for those, it is very easy. They'll just call them, oh, me, I've submitted this, all those things. Now we are suspecting that now ours, they're not being done, but those that are PF affiliated, they're being done because they created a working relationship with them. So it is very easier for them.
But don't you think, Mr. Mwenya, you need also to start now creating a working relationship with them, and also, what
if they want to embarrass us at the end of the day? We've tried to create a good working relationships with them. But what can you do when you are limited by certain legislative documents? They'll just tell you, no, sir, you see, we can't do this because here the guidelines say this. But for others, they'll be flexible. But for you, they want to make sure they'll be very rigid.
We have seen other, opposition PF members of parliament who have also complained about the same.
That's what I'm saying. It's not everyone. I'm saying I'll be made to believe or to think in those lines. I'm not saying this is what is happening.
We have another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We are fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm okay.
Who are we talking to this morning?
We are talking to Chanda Solution from Kabano.
It's good to know that you're watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes, actually, the man what he said, I can say it's 50-50 to say for the...
Please do call us back and give us your comment. In case you're watching us on Facebook, please drop us the message. We'll be able to read them through. Please, you can go ahead with your
so, truthfully speaking, me, I come from a council where also I'm not happy with a certain working culture of members of staff. And it doesn't matter whether we appointed them now. If they can't deliver, they must pave way for other people that can deliver. Because what we want to see is people that can deliver, not people that because we were with them, no. But people that are going to deliver. Because at the end of the day, it is the president who will be held accountable. They won't say Ruben has failed. They'll say UPND akangiwa, mutinama. When they say UPND akangiwa, they mean HH. They're not talking, they're not directing that at me. They're saying that my president has failed. And on 2 occasions, the president has openly said, those that feel they can frustrate us by being, non-performing, then we shall fish them out. We've given people an opportunity to prove themselves that they were not in the system due to political affiliations, but that they are all Zambians who are qualified to serve in this country. They must prove it.
Okay, just hold your thought there.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, kindly tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and your contribution.
I'm Mr. calling you from Baraton.
Okay, kindly go ahead, Mr. Chileshe.
I want to speak about the disappointing leadership of this government. Even the way that man is speaking, it is not showing leadership anymore. This issue of controlled development standing has become political. They have chosen their political friends to run it. That is where the problem is. You know, the last week they were telling me we want to know the members of the groups. This we want to help in youth empowerment fund. They have chosen the political like UPND officials to verify those people. In the end, it is political all over. That's why they can't give the money to the opposition. And they are putting themselves in an awkward situation. Because you say, apply for help. You apply, they start asking you what political party do you belong to. Is that how you run the country? So this whole issue of CDF is a scam to ask Zambians. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution there.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just amazed when you said the asking, but is that really happening?
Maybe I
Well,
can
you
respond.
say-
Maybe you can
Let me
respond
just
to
respond.
him.
You see, me, I'll tell you the truth. People must be grateful that we have UPND today. People like Mr. Chileshe must appreciate, because if Mr. Chileshe truly belonged to UPND, to PF, today he must thank God because they are safe. No, I'm telling you, they are safe. Because if it was the opposite side, they couldn't even have been here. What they did to these Zambians, these PF guys, they must appreciate that there's order and sanity in this country. They must appreciate that. They must appreciate that CDF was 1.6 to 27.5. What I'm telling you is that there are people today who are on bursaries. It has never happened. Skills bursaries, skills trainings, all those things are taking place now. And this is what we say, that about 40% is being implemented, is being actualized right now. People are submitting for bursaries right now. The only challenge that is there is on the projects, because there is a procurement act that limits on what decisions must be done. They must just follow that. Mr. Chileshe must know that for the past 20 years, what has CDF done in this country? This is the first time that CDF, starting from next year, I can assure you, starting from next year, because we've identified where problems are.
Just
Okay, I'm
hold
sure
your
you can continue responding to Mr. Chileshe in combination with this call.
Yeah, so.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
You are talking to Mr. Omar Musande, calling you from Kaloma.
It's good to know that Kaloma is watching us. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Thank you so much. In the first place, I think I just want that council of ours there to know that they are in power and they have been given the mandate to work. So the issue of now starting finger pointing doesn't work. That is actually trying to buy time. And the matter we are trying to buy time, you should know that time is ticking. Time will not wait for you.
Nice one.
Today, you are now pointing fingers at civil servants to say civil servants are making us fail, which is not the case. You knew, because you UPND people did not fall from heaven or from anywhere. You, when you were in opposition, you were seeing how things working. You knew what type of policies were failing the Zambians, and you had alternative policies which Zambians favored. Okay? And come that 12th of August, people decided to say, let's go with these people because they seem to have good policies. Now, when you came into power, you started pointing at PF. After pointing at PF, 1 year down the line, now we have shifted. We are pointing at civil servants. Now, what you should know is that this CDF we are talking about today, it has policies on how it should be utilized. So, even when it was being upgraded from 1.6 to 27 million, you would need to say, these are the guidelines. So, some of the people who are intelligent now, they looked at the policies first before they started approving the projects which are supposed to be done. And this is how they are now working so prudently. You people, because you came with that catalysm to say, oh yes, equality, and you even told your cadres to say, can you form cooperative so that you eat this money? Now those officers, because they know that when audit comes, it does not allow this and that. And when they stick to those policies, you're now pointing at them to say they are frustrating us. They are frustrating us. No, it doesn't work like that, my brother. I think can you own up and say we have failed in this area and look at how you can polish it up? You still have 4 years. This is your time to wait.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir.
Yes, can you tell that man to own up and...
Thank you so much. A challenge has been put to you that you are blaming the previous administration of, you know, finger pointing at them, of saying, no, it's because of this and that, and then you're not owing up and working on this.
And when time comes, they're going to say it's the civil servants who sabotaged us. So
for me, we can't run away from that. That is the truth. I think we've openly heard where PF have also said that you are in government, but we control the system, because the majority of the civil servants that we should have fired to put people that we feel would have moved with us. We didn't do that because we treated everyone as Zambians that needed also a chance to show. This is why I even said before, I think I was obstructed. I said that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you are UPND or you are PF, but you must deliver. What the Zambians out there want is service delivery, not your political affiliation. You get my point? And we've noted that there's a problem. We are not refusing that there's a problem. We are just a year in government. We
2 years, Mr. Wayne. Next year is 2023.
But we'll be 2 years. We'll be 2 years in August. So there's so much time
But
here
round
to make it.
2 years.
No, we are within a year. We are within a year. So 2 years will be too much to a blame on us. You get my point? So in a year, there was an issue of trying to put in place certain people to make certain decisions, because you just don't put people anyhow. So there was that period where you need to put certain people in place in offices, and now it will be up to now those people to prove that their appointments are paying to the Zambians. There was a Mr. Chilesha. You see, if there's something that is happening like that in Ballaston, where people are being asked of political affiliation, then it's quite unfortunate, and such matters must be reported. That's when they will know that this government is not part of it. Today we are hearing UPND cadres complaining that they've been neglected. Why? Because the president wants all Zambians to be treated fairly.
Just hold your thought there. We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
You're talking to the brother from Mongo.
It's good to know that Mongo is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Thank you very much for the wonderful program. I think there was a caller who called before the last caller. He was asking the answer, I think in the Caribbean area, to answer if the people considering the civil application consider them as a basis of political affiliation. I think the date has not answered. You have to answer that very clearly. But you're asking to explaining how it has been increased from 1 million to 35 million, and then the benefits of it. That's a plus here. But let me answer if the people considering the civil application are considering political affiliation. So that's a very important thing.
Okay,
and then the other thing which is very important is, I don't know if people understand the meaning of the instruments of power. When the government came the official who get the instruments of power in the public at Zero Stadium with the current president at INDH, I think there's no need now for us to get back to here if the party is gone. The issue of that bringing here, let the government then the song which the government get of now. Let the current government work. They're doing great things now. Let them just improve what is good, and like bringing the past of what I was saying. Yes, the UPND is doing a lot, and we use them the best, but let him now, the best Mr. Moina, explain if the allocation of CBS is a population, not explain the benefits. The people that now want to move forward, not based on the past.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
There's a challenge for you, Mr.
The question,
very good.
And I think you were responding before we.
I actually was responding
where
to the
you
same.
said if people are being considered political affiliated to a certain political party. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to appreciate his submission. Very objective submission. I think just before he called, I was just trying to explain over a call from Mr. Chileshin Ballaston. I was just saying that if there's such a thing that is happening where people are being admitted based on political affiliation, then it's quite unfortunate, and such people should report such matters. You see that? People must report. They can report. They can even go to ministry and report such. Today, for me, the way I know things right now, is that UPND are the most people who are actually complaining. And the most calls that will come, that sometimes are even coming from UPND members who feel they've been let down. Why? Because a certain decision was made to try and lay the ground leveled to every Zambian to participate freely without political interference. And which has made now UPND members to feel abandoned. You get my point? If it wasn't like that, you could have heard UPND everywhere doing this and that. Now, to answer his question, the CDF beneficiaries is not attached to political affiliation. I will repeat, it is not attached to political affiliation. We are not going to blame PF. It is true. We must work. We must prove to the Zambians that they've given us a mandate and we must work. For sure, we shall work. We shall do the needful. We shall use our powers to execute our duties and deliver good service to our people. But what we're asking is that we've never been in power. We're in power now, and people must wait for us. It is not yet 5 years. They must judge us after 5 years. I think it will be too soon to judge us now that maybe we failed or not. No, we've not failed.
But
we still have.
Don't you think, as a party, you are putting so much focus on, blaming what the previous administration did wrong? We are pointing out, you're putting your focus on that so much instead of focusing on the future.
No. We are not doing that. You cannot talk of the future without talking of the past. I'm telling you the truth. You can't do a better future if you can't look at the past mistakes that you've done, because you must work on the past mistakes to be able to better the future. So we are not blaming PF, but PF is a reference because we've just taken over from them, and the PF thing cannot just die like that. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's like
so by 2026, are you going to be saying we didn't do some of these things?
Not 2026. Let's talk of 2024. 2024, you must judge us, not now.
Yes, I'm saying by the end, are you still going to be referring?
By next year, PF won't be the issue. Won't be even referring matters to PF.
Beginning 1st January 2026.
No, not January, but by December 2023. January is just next week.
Anyway,
by December 2023, you must come and ask us, but you promised us that 2023, PF won't be an issue. But now it's an issue because we're just taking over from them. You see, this is governance. Just a year. It's not like 2 weeks.
We'll definitely come back so that we hold you accountable.
We have this on record. So,
hello, good morning.
Hello.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we speaking to this morning? It's good to know that Livingston is watching. Kindly speak up so that we can get you clearly, sir.
Yes, I want to go to the topic you have there.
Please go ahead.
Yes, firstly, we must appreciate whatever background you have, that is, we have a government that is unique, that is not anyone partisan, not tribal. They increase this year given equally to all constituencies at the same time. A report from area coming. Everyone must see that without putting anything. That we have government
Yeah.
That is an important stage. Can we anticipate that instead of putting ourselves that one, how much you need affiliated to opposition? Please need to discuss the data and move forward. Secondly, madam, what we should cut or maintain is for training to say, let me structure to train without handle, instrument and so on. And also to avoid issues that this don't have branch out the road go in the council and at the same time, humans that are there. Let's spread them out. Bring people that understand the process in the current government. And already we have the message. It's just properly bringing affiliations and so on. If you are such a development, we have the great opportunity. If we are getting planning about the period, so that's the response. This is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And well, before you acknowledge the caller's comment, we also have another comment from one of our viewers who says, don't you think your government did not understand the CDF guidelines initially? So as you acknowledge that our previous caller, maybe you can also respond to this.
That text. Did we not understand the guidelines? It is possible. We could have understood, but maybe we could have overlooked certain guidelines within the guidelines, not knowing how they could affect us negatively. And the moment we decided to increase on the CDF, I think it was on a very good cause that the development must be seen on the ground. And this is why that decision to increase. It is very possible that a certain position can be overlooked or overseen, you know. It is very possible, and this is why there is this now decision to amend the guidelines. So it is from such kind of concerns that the people are showing us that, or maybe we could have not seen certain things coming, and it is good that this has been discovered now before time has gone. This is just within a year. So it means that within a year we must now be able to deal with it. And this is why I was saying that we thank God, because this matter is not bordered on a political party, but it is bordered on national development. It affects every area member of parliament in Zambia. And no member of parliament would love to see that most of this money is not being spent, is not being utilized. So because it borders on their constituencies, I'm sure, I'm very hopeful that they will take serious, to give this matter the serious attention that it deserves, so that this matter is resolved. Because we can talk from Lusaka to Ndola, talking, but if the guidelines are not attended to, and this is why I'm saying that, it is now that CDF is being talked about, because there's so much money that has been allocated to it. Then these guidelines were not seen because there was little money allocated to it. So there wasn't so much focus on CDF, but development then was really coming from the central government, not on the CDF. 1.6, what can you do? You've got five wards in a constituency. You can't do much with the 1.6. So to bring to 27.5, it meant that there was goodwill towards it. But of course, we didn't see that we have these problems coming. So on the other hand, we did something that is very good, and people must appreciate. On the other side, it's just to change certain narratives within the guidelines to be able to enable development. And also, not only that, the Public Procurement Act has always been there. So it is today that it is being exposed, because there's so much which is supposed to be handled by public procurement. You get my point?
Yes.
Developments are coming at a go. So there's so much congestion. This is why I said, can we look at decentralization where councils within the country will make their own decisions and be accountable at the end of the day. That is also another way of the submissions that we've put. Let councils decide on these words. Yeah.
So last time I attended the ministry, the permanent secretary for technical services at the Ministry of Local Government was seriously considering decentralization for 2023, but with the increased CDF or maybe proposed increase to 28.3 million kwacha, and it being decentralized, don't you feel that this would be too much work maybe for councillors and WDCs with the current working conditions?
How? What do you mean when you say too much work?
We've heard that WDCs who've been complaining that they're not getting any salary.
But that doesn't qualify it to be too much work. For
So
them,
they-
if they
we
want
get
an allowance,
decentralization.
it's just an allowance to be added in the guidelines. But in terms of service delivery, councils
With
are
the current
covered.
working conditions, working conditions of councillors and WDCs and the increase of the CDF, which will mean more work.
You
More
see,
work,
you
and
see,
don't
Is
you
the situation
fear-
okay, or do you feel these need to be increased as well?
you see, the implementation of CDF it has nothing to do with someone's allowance. It has everything to do with the procedure. It is taking long because the procedures or the processes involved are too many and too long. There are people who are not even supposed to be signing, who are signing. There are some people shouldn't even be there to authorize, but, you know, just passing time to make other people feel like their positions are, you know, there are certain positions that were created then for certain people to benefit, which are today haunting us. So it has nothing to do with allowances for WDC or for councillors. It has nothing that it has everything to do with the procedures and processes. Those are minor issues of allowances. Even if today we put them at 10 million allowance, whose development is still be there.
But should we say, are they motivated enough? More work,
No,
same situation.
it has nothing to do with motivation. It has everything to do with
So they should continue at the same status quo using the airtime, because we've heard most of them complain, saying they use the airtime.
You're not understanding.
We are getting the picture, but we're saying
What we are saying is that it is
conditions.
very important. Actually, we are advocating for WDCs to be on an allowance. But what we are saying is that it is not an allowance of a WDC or a councillor which is making development not to come.
No, motivation.
Motivation.
Keeping them
Definitely they will be
motivated.
motivated. They were assured that in 2023 they will be motivated. But even after being motivated, are we going to see development? That should be our concern.
Yes.
So our concern should be, have we done so much on the guidelines?
Maybe you can clarify something. We have heard stories of where a certain cooperative, maybe they are 40, they have been given a 40,000 in order to start up a business. And then this WDC are getting a 10,000 from those people. How true is that?
We have a caller.
Maybe
We have
Maybe
a
we'll
caller.
answer the caller before you respond to that.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mashuwa
Uromlishani.
we know.
Can you know who are talking to and where you're calling us from? Okay, it's good to know that Chawama is watching. Kindly go ahead.
What's my push our names?
Amashina ya CDF ngayafuma. Kulaba party ave mano kuyaranda kuya kuyaletera CDF ajawe mwipera bantu amashina yafuma yaba PF. So ndefo kwipusha izabo bati ushi CDF ya UPND olo ya Zambia ya kontuwezi yonse.
Thank you so much. That has been a serious concern. I think you have heard it from people, because this is more like a challenge that everyone is facing.
So before you
responded, before the
there was
caller,
an issue of people getting 10,000 from the cooperatives.
From the cooperatives, yes. Getting
heard those rumors.
We have heard those. In fact,
those concerns.
We have heard the concerns. I've been on ground with one person where they were giving money for a certain cooperative in a certain constituency, and then these WDC told them that no, from the monies that you are given for the cooperatives, you need to give us a 10,000, and there were 40. They were giving 40,000.
Okay, so Miriam, one, I would say that it was a story, like you are saying. I don't know if there are facts on it, but again, I would say that that is very wrong. You see, me, I won't even blame you, or I'll blame the people who are giving those WDCs the money. So if there are 20 cooperatives, so how much are they making from these cooperatives? If they're getting a 10,000 from each cooperative, so how much are they getting? They must be reported to anti-corruption. That's fraud. You see that? So it is up. It's people themselves who are creating this. It means they made a cartel. They agreed in the first place that we will make this so that when this comes out, we'll share. That was their agreement. And maybe today somebody else was not happy, and that's how they told you. But because why shouldn't they report such kind of a matter?
Don't you think people are so desperate that they want these cooperatives, and at the end of the day, because people who are in the
desperation that will make them make wrong choices and decisions.
People who are in the forefront are telling them, for us to push for your cooperative to be on first list to get the funds on the first stop, you need to do this for us.
So who has a problem? Both of them, both parties have a problem. I was not there. I'm not there. Why should we blame a church or an MP or a councillor? We're not there. So them themselves, they've noticed that. They must report. Or even call you as journalists, so this is what is happening. They expose such people and we deal with them. You see, this is not a government that has NGOs. It has people. And the people who are working in these WDCs or in this position are the same people who have always been there. So there are no angels. It's not a government of angels. It is a government of people who are also bound to misbehave. And when people misbehave, they must be put in their positions and in their places. You get my point? So we can't be held accountable for other people's wrong decisions or wrong misbehavings. If there's such information, it is well and good for people to bring that information and we deal with it. Put it on the media. We see that, oh, this is what is happening. Make those people tell us. Because we'll be working, maybe we'll treat them as just assumptions or just rumors or just stories. Yet are things that are taking place. Just this caller is saying that there are names that they come out. Then people go there and say, no, I have an PF, still a phone. Yes, even me, I've heard such before. It is true. Such things happen. But at the end of the day, people must understand that this is a CDF for all Zambians. And when there's such a thing, the best place to report such kind of issues is at the ministry. Because you find that sometimes even a council can be compromised. You go and report, they want to do justice to the people. Mind you that we councillors are not every day at council. You see that? Council has civil servants, technocrats that work day to day. We are policymakers and we are not found there on a daily basis. So even when such complaints come, we may not be aware of such. But the best is to take such concerns to the ministry. Because you can't take them to the police. How do they treat it? Or maybe you take it to anti-corruption also. It is also the best way to deal with such kind of issues.
Given the fact that you have now known this issue, that it exists, and people are still complaining about this issue, what's the way forward? Have you tried maybe to sit down with these people to ensure that you tell them that this CDF is for every Zambian and to not anyone who is only political affiliated to the ruling UPND? You
see where I'm having a problem? CDF is not given by politicians or by a political party at UPND secretariat, then they start giving grants or cooperatives. It is done in a prescribed procedure. People submit their evaluated or they're checked, whatever it is, that is done procedural. It is done like that. So it is also, you know, people sometimes they are not, especially those that past government, they are not free to participate in these issues. They feel sidelined, like, no, we can't participate. They feel it is politically inclined. Themselves, they are not comfortable. Yet we've created an environment that is enabling to every Zambian. But they just have that fear because of the way they treated other people. That is what is there. But they must know that they are free to access this funding. It's for all Zambians, not UPND. There are even UPND who are frustrated, who have not even received this money. So it is for all Zambians. People must know that.
Interesting, quite interesting.
Very interesting.
In case you're watching us, we are looking at analyzing the prudent utilization of the Constituency Development Fund as we come to the end of the year. And in studio we are joined by Kamola Ward 8, Chilenje Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Mwenya. We have one comment from our Facebook viewer Chris Banda, who says, we hope the Constituency Development Fund will result in development. At the moment, we are being told about challenges.
True. I agree. I agree with him that right now
we have a caller.
We have a caller. Please just hold your thought.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Awe tulifia win.
Kindly tell us your name as well and where you're calling us from.
Andola Mapara.
Okay, so Andola is watching.
Neo Mwenya Ruben.
Hello?
Neo Mwenya.
Mwenya.
Mkwayo.
Na ile nachikwata ko
ipusho.
Nachikwata ko ipusho akukonka na CDF.
Mkwayo.
Parwandi ekona ishibana ngofyo mbona. CDF when yala benefit ni politiko mu power. Ainesa ngomake. Nipi ati wa abantu bari kwishiwa kandi bapiye. So na ngumunga panga urepo kujoina ule group bala kunyamu. Lewana wena barepo kubapiye beka nenga panga na mago pareti. So ikishinga cha ki ukufuma pe muri wa kaunda okita kaburi wa UPND wakaunda wafumako emo diareta pe bremo atibali ona ulefini emo dia kumako kaita wa PF na kuwale ga pe dia diari ona ulefini na pakele to bremo wa kaita UPND lewa wa PF wa ona ulefini Yomba shamu kwapo komenti kulanda kwekitumekyo basha. Kubakyo kulanda esi. Ero andeni na imuwa UPND. Tamulanda kwekizekyo mchika. Mulanda kwekisuma ekyo mchika. Ero lekisuma nga mwalanda. Eko soza ntukulamu. Etulatumira kifishishinga ufi. So naisi nanga kwa hospital. Mchika mwa. Bakitabukumyako. So far, kuzinga wasta wanweliki. Chamukumi yako. So vetraija pama naikane. Tamatele kwa kuino kupera. Pamuna nikapewa chaba, jikungabe njaba nishita benefiti, niba afiye. So ishishirika, imeno mkulishiva kambino kumona. Shi mwana tujia umuntu nga chagaupa. Ala mwana kwa si... Ala mumare biro ba mugare chushaba na tashi ba mutabai shofungo mwana tashi ba betai mwaka ba msufu elo akabo kumona majiushi to lombai no bamu government okufuma mwa mwini ki kushika ngomba takalo binti wera panshia kile nina tukati ya mwale kinga mwanita kumalenda tabwera but chini tabia kumu because ingawa hapo ndio wala sange chinka.
Thank you so much.
Maybe can you respond to that call as you conclude?
Yeah, so we want to change a narrative that CDF is only for a political party in power at that particular time. And because this has been a trend, you get my point, huh? This has been a trend, and we must strive by all means to change it. And change cannot just take place in an hour. It is procedural, it is gradual. For change to take place, there are a lot of things that are involved. And I agree with my brother that people have always treated these government benefits to political affiliation. It has always been a trend like that. And now we are trying to make sure that we change it from what it is now. And it is a serious challenge. We can't say we'll deal with it in an hour, no. But we are working towards changing that narrative. So in 2 years' time, people will now start appreciating that, okay, we are trying our best to make sure that all Zambians feel incorporated, feel at home. This is their country. With the PF, UPND, people must feel embraced in these national developmental benefits. Now, when you get married today, you can't tell me that you are not going to find challenges in your marriage. And if you have challenges today, it doesn't mean your marriage has failed you or you failed your marriage. It is a marriage that now you are beginning to learn to know each other and understand each other. So you are going to find those challenges. So even ourselves as a party in government, we have these challenges which are normal challenges because we are taking over a leadership. And we are going to find these challenges. So like I will say, we are not angels. We are people that are learning and bound to make certain mistakes. And we should be able now to act on those challenges that we've noted. So people must not lose hope. CDF is there. It is not just on paper, but it is there. It will be actualized. People begin to see development in the coming years. We appreciate PF. It's not everything that we condemn PF. Personally, I don't blame PF for everything or condemn PF for everything. No. They've done their part. They did quite well in infrastructure development. We've seen roads that at least it is easy to move from one place to the other. We must commend them. But we are discussing CDF. We are discussing the challenges of CDF. My brother is talking of meal, he's talking of fertilizer. I'm not here to discuss that. I'm here to discuss CDF. If I was given an opportunity to come and discuss that, then we'll talk about it.
We'll definitely give you
another opportunity. Anyway, concluding remarks, what are your maybe prospects for 2023 in terms of CDF? What do you hope to see?
I want to tell you that 2023 will be a year of massive developmental projects in most wards, in most constituencies. That one you can mark my word. You can even write it today.
We're going to write it 12th December.
Yes,
you have it on record.
Exactly. Have it on record. Next year we'll see a lot of mass. You'll be busy.
What are you putting on the table? We've heard people putting something on the table. By this time, if this doesn't happen, what are you putting on the table?
I won't be cancelled anymore because I don't want to be
cancelled. You will not be
cancelled
anymore.
I won't be cancelled anymore. Because what is it that I will have to tell my people that I failed to do now that I will do when given another mandate? So if we don't deliver, if we don't see developmental projects, I'm not becoming a council. This is on a national broadcast. I'm live here. People must challenge me. But you said if we're not
by 12th December 2023.
No, I'm saying.
When should we challenge you?
By 2024. I said give us 2 years.
By 2024.
Yeah, because this year was identifying challenges and putting them in place. But starting next year, you will see a lot of massive development. This one I can assure you. This one I can assure you.
It is on record.
You'll be busy trying to move from one place to another, just trying to cover events that are going to be taking place.
Quite interesting there. Thank you to our viewers who stayed tuned in, those who called us, and those who left us messages on Facebook. Indeed, it has been a very productive topic as we were discussing the performance of CDF in 2022 and our hope for 2023. Miriam?
Thank you so much. This is where we come to the end of our program this morning, and indeed we have had the challenge. We will put it on the table exactly. We will come 2024.
Yeah.
By 12th December.
By 12th December,
Should come and question me that, are you still standing? Because we haven't seen anything. They'll tell you, no, I'm not.
Anyway, we have that on record, but please do join me, Miriam Kaimba, and my colleague Zipporah Mshara tomorrow, the same time. For now, it's bye-bye and stay blessed.
Thank you.